Welcome back, guys. Today I'm back after a long time, and today we are going to see Ash Ketchum Team's redesign. Before starting off with the video, I want to inform you all that I'm really grateful for all the support you have showed towards the channel. I'm just 3 subs away from 50. So once 50 subs is completed, I will drop a special video discussing the future of the channel. And believe me, the future is not depressing, but I'm announcing few more what ifs. So if you have joined the Discord, you might know since I had posted the schedule but didn't complete it. But the reason was I wanted to add more projects, and finally I want to reveal them now because I think I'm ready. And many of you might be thinking why I haven't continued yet this one as being born in Sinnoh. So the reason behind it being not continue, even though I have wrote next episode, is that I'm not able to finalize Dawn's goal because she is no more a companion for Paul and Ash. So discussing what she will have as her goal, how she would work towards it is quite hard. And as a writer, you have to think about it. I'm more than a content creator. I work as a writer, so that's one thing. Other than that, today this is going to be the first part of this Ask Ketchup Team's redesign, only containing Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn. Sino, Sino, Yunoa, Kalos, and Alola would be done sometimes ahead because I haven't perfectly wrote those mons. If I have a personality, if I have a character, then only I would include it on a team. There's no reason for them being on a team just to show off their power or something else. Because, as I said, I'm a writer, so for content, I can just shove you some random Pokemon on a team and show you, but that won't make sense at all. So I want to give you the best, and please continue your support towards the channel. And one more thing, the last thing is that comment your questions down below. I will give a Q&A part also in my upcoming video, in the future video of the channel. So I will answer all your questions. Whatever questions you have, comment it down. I'm all there to answer. Also, you will get mentioned in the next video. So that's one thing. All right, let's begin. Sorry if there's any voice disturbance, guys, but starting off the teams with his Kanto team. Each Pokemon will get to speak till a particular time only. So, in order to distribute time properly among the team, I decided to talk about three concepts. First is their personality, second being their progression throughout the story, third being their power to the power they showcased in the battles. So the first mon is obviously Ash's Pikachu, who would not be talked about in this video. Yes, I know how much iconic this mon is, but literally, who doesn't know Pikachu? It's the same old fat yellow rodent. So it won't get a mention throughout the team builders. So now we'll talk about Ash's first ever capture being obviously Butterfree. Everybody knows how much this Butterfree means to the Gen Murders who watched the anime from the first episode. Literally, everybody cried in its release episode. I was one of them. I almost cried 10 times. So, Butterfree is almost the same. It's going to be on the team, and again, it's going to be released. So, there's no time to show off its personality and all. Yet one thing which is noticeable is its wish to grow. Its wish to grow from a caterpillar into a butterfly and then start off a family and continue its life. So one thing notable about it is its wish to grow more. So that would be one thing. Also, since Butterfree is going to be released, I would make Ash him use more. Why more? To at least give give us some glimpse of what Butterfree could have been if it was a full-time member. Moving on to second member on the team, it's the most hated bird, Pidgeot. As much as I love Pidgeot in the games and all, it really sucks. Even though it got a mega, the birds didn't. That didn't improve its situation anymore. In fact, all other regional birds at least have one distinct thing, but Pidgeot doesn't. So why would Ash have it? You know how he got it in the Viridian forest and all, but when would it evolve into Pidgeot? When would it be released? So the change here is that it would be evolving in the same scenario in the fight against Furo, but it won't fight against Furo for any group of Pidgeys and all. It would fight Furo for its trainer. It would fight Furos for Ash, as it has its own pride. Its pride is to protect its trainer. It would evolve to protect Ash, not any random group of Pidgeys and all. So in that case, it won't be released, and it would be more efficiently used in normal trainer battles. Yes, it would still don't have much chance at the gym battles, and the reason behind it being Ash is going to carry a lot of rotation right here. So Pidgeot being in gym battles won't be a thing until late game. So in but Pidgeot will play a big role in the league battles. It would be the master at showcasing of its flying skills in the league battles and winning matches throughout the league. So let's move. Third pick is Ivysaur. Now, man, I love Bulbasaur. I love the whole line, but Ivysaur is my favorite. You might think Ash's Bulbasaur refused to evolve. Why the fuck did you evolve it? It's as good as Ivysaur just being a Bulbasaur. But if you remember, if you watched the episode where Ash got Bulbasaur, in which Melanie was involved, in that episode, Melanie wanted Bulbasaur to grow, and how the fuck will it grow if it doesn't evolve? She wanted its bulb to grow, so why the fuck won't it evolve? So sorry if I'm being non-PG or something, but I really love Ivysaur, and that doesn't mean that it won't evolve into Venusaur. It would evolve into Venusaur against its wish. Now, listen to me. The idea, the story behind Bulbasaur will be that if it's a Bulbasaur, it would be the best Bulbasaur of all. If it would be Ivysaur, it would be the best among them all. When it would realize that it is the best, then it would evolve. So, Ash's Bulbasaur would compete against Drake's Venusaur in the Orange League, and it's Electabuzz. So when it would win at the Orange League most important battle of the Orange League, it would decide to evolve during the battle. So that's all about Bulbasaur. Um, how would it evolve into Venusaur? Remember the Vincent one Johto random trainer who got Chikorita as his starter and Vincent. So Vincent's Meganium would use continuous solar beam against Ivysaur in its battle, and before the battle, Blastoise would be there. Wall Turtle would evolve into Blastoise in the Johto League as well, but there's a very different change of personality between Wall Turtle and Bulbasaur this time. Bulbasaur wants to be the best and needs to rest before evolving. But Blastoise's case is different. I would explain it a little bit later. So when two solar beams would collide, the due to experience, Ivysaur would start to glow, but it doesn't want to evolve. It would use its power to cancel the evolution instead of facing its opponent. So when Meganium would forcefully fire solar beam on order of Vincent, in order to stop solar beam, Ivysaur would put its power instead of its evolution on its opponent, and at that time, forcefully it would evolve into Venusaur, and it would be very angry at itself and Ash for that a little bit time. But over the course of time, Ash and Bulbasaur, sorry, Venusaur would overcome the problem and move on their journey. Next is all time over over pushed over showcased Pokemon Charizard. Anything over is all with Charizard. This guy has defeated legendaries. This guy has literally killed Ash so many times with his flamethrowers. But in this case, it's very, very, very different. And you might ask how he is not disobedient this time. Is a whole story if on another level. So remember how it evolved into Charmeleon, getting over experience facing a horde of executors. In this reality, Damien would return and join Team Rocket. Along with Team Rocket, he would kidnap Ash, and in front of Ash, he would torture Charmander. Charmander would be heavily tortured by Damien and his Pokemon. So when in the end, in the end, in order to protect Ash and and itself, Charmander would evolve into Charmeleon and fight back against Damien. So it won't be disobedient because it would heavily respect its trainer, even as a Charmeleon, because it evolved for its trainer. There's no over exposure to horde of executors. There's no over experience. It's simple storyline. So how would it evolve further into Charizard? No, the attack of prehistoric isn't happening here. It would evolve into Charizard when Aerodactyl would be revived from the fossil. Ash would stop Team Rocket at the Mount Moon from stealing fossils from Mount Moon. So he would get some fossils along with Brock and Mystery. And among the fossils, he would get Old Ember to revive Aerodactyl. So after Aerodactyl is revived, there would be a blast in the machine, the fossil revival machine, that would cause Aerodactyl to panic and start attacking the whole Cinnabar Island, the spot where fossils are revived, with its hyper beams and cause trouble for everyone. And then Ash would fight Aerodactyl with his Charmeleon, who would further evolve into Charizard of and battle Aerodactyl and finally defeat it to Cap in order to uh, in order for Ash to capture Aerodactyl and get Aerodactyl as his Pokemon. Rest the battles and all, you know how good Charizard is. He's the dope ass Pokemon. So he would be the guy who would be always winning until Orange Islands. I have planned another ace for Orange Islands part, and that would be later showcased in this video itself. Moving on to the Mon, you might be thinking, why would Squirtle, who's just a Squirtle in the anime, fully evolve into Blastoise? Now, remember when I said it would evolve into Blastoise in the Johto League? Yes, it's going to be Squirtle. Throughout the Kanto, it's going to become a wall turtle in the Orange Islands. Remember how Charmeleon got a personality change after it evolved in the original anime? Water turtle would become kind of a ladies' guide whenever it would be out in the Orange Islands. It would spot water Pokemon and start flirting with them. So it would be a change in the character for him, and then it would only grow on him when it would finally evolve into Blastoise after an intense battle at Johto League. It would turn into a complete playboy type gimmick. He would swat Pokemon and try to impress them with his muscles and all. So that's going to be his character. His battle skills would be the same, except this time Ash would work more on its defense strategies. Why defense strategies? Because you can notice Kingler's right there, and we all know how Kingler's an offensive mon. It would use its pincers. All right, let's talk about both of them at the same time. Pins Kingler won't would be a type of water Pokemon who won't be scared of grass types at all. In fact, Ash would use Kingler against Erika itself. Kingler would defend itself using its pincers, and Water Turtle would be defending itself with its shell. So, Water Turtle will learn excellent moves like Mirror Coat, Rapid Spin, and all in order to improve its defense skills. Whereas Kingler would be with more on the offensive side. So Ash, even though has two water Pokemon on the team, both would have different personalities. Kingler would be like a warrior and would be more on the offensive side, whereas Water Turtle would be on the defensive side. So that's completed first part of the team. Two more parts of left. I know this is very long, but can't help it out. Coming to second part of the team, here is Haunter, which would be captured in the similar storyline, but Ash won't abandon it for Sabrina and all. Haunter would still be a prankster, and I'm not wasting my time on it. But you might have a question: would it evolve since Ash has a Gengar in the journeys? Yes, and the most obvious thing it when it would evolve, it would be in Johto against Morty or something. It won't be a trade evolution. I don't know why, but trade evolution doesn't suit this mon. It's a bloody prankster. So a Gengar versus Gengar battle would be nice to watch in the Johto part. Talking about its power, as I said, being a prankster, it would get invisible in the battlefield, use different types of strategies with Shadow Claw and all. Ash would Ash would be more Ash would be also interested in pulling out tricks like using lick to paralyze opponents and all. So Ash, whenever he would like to bring a surprise in the battle, he would throw off Haunter, and Haunter would sweep opponents with its unique tricks. Except in a few battles against Gary, where Gary would understand Haunter and would be the only trainer to take down Haunter with his Arcanine. Yes, Gary would take down Haunter with his Arcanine. That would be the only considerable loss for Haunter, and it would be rather undefeatable. Second one on the team, yes, our boy, big boy, Mark. Mark isn't the only big boy because Snorlax is also on the list, but Mark is moreover being included on the team because Ash is going to go on a full-on rotation for training sessions and all. So Ash would realize that only move Mark has other than his poison type moves for coverage and all is Ice Punch. So Ash would work on its minimize strategy that we usually see in the games. Ash would try to get him minimized and sunk below the ground to avoid attacks and then counter with some heavy poisonous moves like gunk shot and all. I know they didn't exist back in Gen 1, but right now I can speak about them. So they are all there. And Muck has a bloody awesome character, man. It would be damn, I can't say extremely good or wonderful in the battles, but what I can say is that Muck would be a pick in order to carry on the battle for longer time. It can handle so many attacks, and it's a fat boy, man. It's a fat boy. It would take as many attacks as possible until it finally faints down. So Mark is there. Next mon, I would discuss these two mons at the same time because just like War Turtle and Kingler sharing the same typing, these are also sharing the same type. Primate and Hitmonchan. Primate would be caught first, and its original story is completely different. It would be a primate who, just after Primate stole Ash's hat, it would run into the forest where a group of monkeys led by a rogue primate would attack Ash's Mankey and destroy it literally. Ash would get back, train him, and it would gain revenge over the rogue primate and defeat that primate and finally join Ash's team. Whereas Hitmonchan would be caught in the dojo. There's no other way for Hitmonchan to be available to Ash. So Ash would have to defeat the fighting dojo and he would that's it about the origin story. Talking about their personalities, Primate would almost most of the time lose its control over its temper. You know, it has the ability anger point, so it's quite obvious Primate would lose its temper and even sometimes attack Ash, which would cause him to lose a few battles and then again grind up with by bonding with Ash, and which would after all contribute towards its character development. Talking about Hitmonchan, it would be trained in the fighting dojo, so it would believe in more defensive strategies, like it would meditate, it would use detect to avoid opponent moves. It has all three elemental punches, so it would use them at multiple points to protect itself and go a little bit offensive, but not being more exposed towards the enemy and playing safe. It would be as a trump card to start important 6 on 6 battles because it has three elemental punches. No matter which kind of opponent comes up, he can handle it. So Ash would use it as its trump card in 6 on 6 battles. So that's one thing. Last two members on this part of the team, Dragonite and Tauros. Both are extreme powerhouses, but Tauros is just one single Tauros. There aren't 30 Tauros. There's not herd of Tauros. It's the only one Tauros, but the change here is that it's extremely giant Tauros which used to lead its herd. So in order to protect himself, Ash would catch the leader while the herd of Tauros was rushing towards the trainers trying to capture the Pokemon in the Safari Zone. So after Ash would capture the leader, the herd would go around and Ash would train this mon in order to become a big powerhouse until Snorlax or somebody steps in. So in the league battles and all, Tauros would be the go-to if Ash wants to throw off full strength as at his opponents. Talking about Dragonite, even though you are noticing the Dragonite here, the first question popping up in your mind would be that, whoa, just like Journeys, Ash is getting a Dragonite? No, he's not going to catch a fully evolved pseudo legendary just like it's a joke. He's going to get a timid Dratini. He would struggle a lot to train a timid Dratini. It would usually avoid battling, be scared of in front. Even when he Ash would use it against a Beedrill in the league, Dratini would be scared, watching all people, and it would be very very timid. But only for Ash, it would evolve into a Dragonite during the Orange Islands, and then again into Dragonite during the Power of One movie. Yes, during the Power of One movie, when Charizard would lose of control of Ash and Ash would be falling down. Dragonair would evolve into Dragonite to protect its trainer and even attack the legendary birds in order to protect Ash. It would go insane using hyper beams on the legendary birds. Even the legendary birds would be shocked by its raw power and its strength. Since you know the stats, legendary birds are nothing in front of the Dragonite, and it would be Ash's overall ace because seriously Charizard can't take out Drake's Dragonite. He didn't Ash didn't prepare Charizard at such a level that it would be able to take out a Dragonite, and I can't believe how Pikachu took out a Dragonite. So in order to make it more believable, Ash would get a Dragonite versus Dragonite battle in order to win the Orange League. So moving on, the third part consists of the least showcase Pokemon in his Kanto or Orange Islands journey. Yes, mostly Lapras would be a boat, and that's literally bad. I love Lapras, and hence decided that Ash won't be releasing it. The bonding both shared would be enough for Ash to continue with Lapras all to Johto. Sorry, sometimes my tongue slips. Sorry, extremely sorry. Ash won't release it, and it would continue on to Johto as well as Snorlax. Snorlax would also continue to Johto. Ash Ash can't just throw them off because the journey of one region has ended. They haven't been trained well, so he would carry them for the earlier parts of Johto, but then he has to switch to other Johto mons which he caught in that region itself. It would be completely unfair if he used these and ignored those completely, like he actually did in the original anime. So he would just carry Lapras and Snorlax for Johto, or maybe Rhydon. I'm not sure. Rhydon would be caught as an Rhyhorn in the Safari Zone, and during the league, Ash would grind up a lot with it because Rhyhorn races would be introduced prior to league because there are so many episodes. Rhyhorn racing would be introduced, and that would be time Ash can bond with Rhyhorn and improve its training and all. And finally, during the league, it would evolve into Rhydon. Rhydon would be used throughout the Orange Islands, but only in important battles where Ash needs type diversity. Next two months are the months who would stay at his home, and we all know what happened to Cubone. And this would be just a Cubone throw, and mostly at Ash's home, just like Mr. Mime would be Ash. Just with Mr. Mime, Cubone would be along with Delia Ketchum. Ash would only call upon them when he thinks that they need some time to train and all. So only sometimes it would become up. Cubone would mostly be a baby Pokemon, so it only opportunity it would get to evolve would be in Orange Islands, where, where Cubone would face off against another Marowak, and in a Marowak versus Cubone battle, it would evolve into Marowak itself, and again battle against a Marowak and win and showcase its strength. Mr. Mime is just Mr. Mime. It's a wholehearted Pokemon. Who doesn't love Mr. Mime? It's just simply awesome. And talking about his power, Ash would pull out him as some wild card entry in his random battles and use its abilities like light screens and all to block attacks, and that's all obvious. You know how good Mr. Mime looks while he is in the anime. Even though he might suck in the games, he is damn good in the anime. So that's it for today. I was actually planning to do all three Kanto, Hoi and Johto, but the video has gone long enough. It's almost half an hour. So I don't think it would make sense to keep you all waiting for long. Don't worry, next part would be up soon. I won't take long because for this I don't need script. Once again, thank you all. Comment down if you have any questions for the Q&A. Bye bye.